Jeremy's in the middle of his blanket workout.
We leave our house cold during the day.
Yeah, I usually leave it at like around 65. Morning, everybody. Morning, Twitch. Morning, all sleepy bears. This is another Bears and Chairs podcast. I am Ray. Tangs to the top left, and Mr. Nags on the top right. As we soothe you to the sounds of some serenading Super Nintendo music while you're listening to the great, sweet, lustrous sounds of Sleepy Bear Games here on a Wednesday morning? Yes, Wednesday morning on the East Coast.
Yeah, you live here, don't you?
It's all been blurring together. This is my third workout in 24 hours.
And damn, son.
Gonna call you 24-hour fitness, man.
Don't call me that.
Yeah, don't call him that.
No,
It's like a detriment.
might very well be.
It's like calling me
That's
Planet
copyright. Copyright strike.
You just got Nintendo'd.
That should be like a game move, like a fighting game move. Copyright strike. Free strike.
And it's just-
You're done, son.
And then it's just like what? Like Dong Dong Never Die I feel like they had that. It was called Dong Dong Never Die.
Yeah, and it's a hilarious video on Max's channel where he does compilations of them playing Dong Dong Never Die.
I want to play Dong Dong Never Die.
It's pretty epic. It's like the Seaman of fighting games.
Seaman.
It's 7 a.m. and Ray's already talking about semen. What's up,
Hey,
sailor?
I'm looking
He's
for a
just
bunch of
really into the
sailors.
Navy.
I'm king of the Queen's Navy. I forget the rest of the words.
I just don't know. It's just like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. King's Queen's Navy. That was when he was like the adult Stewie, right?
Nope. Different.
Different one.
Be your galleon airfader. I'm an expert navigator.
Yep. That's it.
Something about I've known to swoon a girl or two, but I'd rather get it on with you. Oh, oh, oh.
Yes.
Ho 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 ho.
Yes.
I remember.
That's it.
Just getting to where chattels.
Yes, the Chattels now said that we're alive, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
Now. Just the herd on.
Oh, we did get it yesterday. Awesome. We had, according to Twitch, we had 90 people watching me yesterday.
90.
90.
Watching you do what? Sleep?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Yeah, so Daisy had rated us with like 40. So,
That's what it is. Okay.
yeah. But there were like
What
5.
did you do? Post a picture of Steve's cleave?
Yes.
Check out that side boob.
You like that side boob?
Because it's my side boob.
You better like that side
City
boob.
stream.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. So that big old titty stream.
Got our own version of the Italian Senate Zoom call.
Good morning to Sunshine 1988.
Good morning, Sunshine 1988.
Good morning. So yeah, we ended up getting the achievement yesterday for people know me. 50 viewers at one time. I don't think that did anything though.
Like get you like automatic like algorithms, and they'll be like, here you go on right to the front page. Front page, here we come.
Too bad everything was muted. You couldn't hear that sweet, sweet subscriber music now.
Why
Why can't we be friends?
That subscriber music is pretty cool. I also
Don't
put it,
never die.
I also put it at the beginning of our long play videos now.
All right.
Awesome. right, so that's my announcement. What you guys got?
Under what?
After I get this sweet protein and fiber.
Again, stop talking about semen.
I know. No, semen on toast.
Hey, I'm gonna butter your toast. Let me butter your bread.
I'm gonna butter your bread, baby.
Well, with this latest with the Activision and Microsoft acquisition right now, or the opposite, Microsoft acquired Activision. Activision was in no position to acquire anything, even though they acquired so many things in the years to come, but now they just got acquired. So apparently it's now been reported that by Bloomberg that PlayStation is going to at least see 3 more Call of Duty games under this Microsoft Activision deal. At least 3.
So 3 more years?
Yeah, basically 3 more years. So there was like a concrete number that we're looking at right now, because when they first announced this deal, they were just like, oh yeah, we continue to honor our partnerships and our contracts, and everyone's like, what does that mean? And you got all your Call of Duty fans that just be like, I just bought a PS5, bro. What does that mean?
It means all pre-existing agreed titles that we're going to release there will continue to release there. Once that contract expires, PS5 will no longer see Call of Duty.
Yep.
It's the way it'll go.
Yeah.
That's how the world works. Get with it.
Yeah, and it's like limiting your player base, but Microsoft don't care, because it's just like, hey, we get to show up Game Pass, not only on our Xbox front, but on our PC front as well. You PC, bro?
Your PC, bro.
I just realized something, though, with this Activision-Microsoft deal. I think I may have, in the last, 20 years, bought one Activision game, and it was ironically by a Japanese studio, FromSoft, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. That's the only Activision game I've owned over the last 20 years. Not the only Activision game I've played over the last 20 years. I have to go, because, went over people's houses and played Guitar Hero and Rock Band, but, yeah, I just realized, I'm like, I'm not that big of an Activision Blizzard fan.
Well, also think of, I'm not much of an Activision fan, but you got their old stuff, right? I'm not much of a Bobby Kotick era Activision fan, because that's when they turned into just milk the cow.
Yeah.
It was, how do we get out, an annual, biannual Call of Duty? It was, what's our big money makers? What has all the homeboys interested in it, and just spit those out. And they've kind of,
man, I want to go home and play some Modern Warfare.
Yeah, and they just ignored all their old titles, as Phil Spencer, who's probably the coolest CEO out there. He said, he's excited about the back catalog that they just acquired of things that haven't been touched forever, like Hexen.
Yeah, my eyes got really wide when I saw that. I was like, you son of a bitch.
He literally name-dropped Hexen.
Yeah, like Star Control. What else did he put out there? Bunch of stuff, right? Activision has a ridiculous back catalog. Isn't Gex Activision?
I believe so, yes. So Gex is Activision. Crash Bandicoot was mentioned.
Yep.
And just a bunch of other things, and also the fact that they acquired Sierra, because Activision owns Sierra and also King. I don't really care much about King, but Sierra. So that means King's Quest and all your old PC adventure games can come back under this Microsoft deal.
So they had all these unique things that they've acquired or published in the PlayStation 2, N64 era. And they got completely. They were kind of like the kings of being homogenized, and which was a way most big publishers went for at least a period of time, and then you kind of saw a renaissance of branching out into these other older franchises again and remakes and things like that, because of I think largely because of the success of independent studios. But
yeah, so they were successful despite themselves.
Yeah, but they It's the same thing I'll say at work. Like, they lost sight of the forest for the trees. Like, they're so that we could do this. We could just keep putting out Call of Duties, and they know people will buy it. And since they're such a huge publisher, and if they're not publishing other things besides Call of Duty, it also leads a game void. So there's less variety of games out there, especially from the main publishers, because indie gaming didn't really come into full circle till the mid 2010s.
Yeah, that's when I got
right. So this stuff started in the early. So there just wasn't a lot of variety of games out there for a solid 4 or 5 years. Because everyone kind of followed that trend. So if there's not a lot of variety of games and they have a guaranteed seller, then they're like, well, we can just keep pushing this button. And it appeals to such a mass target audience. Who cares about the people that don't like it? Because the target audience is already big enough to just make us truckloads of money.
Exactly.
And that's a corporate decision. That's not a game developer decision.
No, and the fact that you look at top sales of something like that, and they say, oh, well, PlayStation just lost its top 2 selling franchises, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and the other Call of Duty that's not called Modern Warfare, because they just dwarf everything else in comparison. It's like there's Call of Duty and there's everything else. It's kind of like it's its own separate beast, like apples to oranges type thing. So if you're not into that Call of Duty money, you need your game variety, because that market's already been tapped. I mean, just talk to EA. I mean, is Battlefield really that big of a competitor?
No.
Not really. You could argue that Fortnite's a bigger competitor.
Yeah, I would say that. And, I mean, it's kind of different because it's a Battle Royale third-person shooter versus a first-person shooter.
Right. But they have similar appeals to the point that Call of Duty made their own Battle Royale.
Yeah, and you could see Epic Games going down the same route as Activision, but the difference is that Epic Games now has their own storefront, so they could end up being like Steam, where they'll just be like, we'll just be like a game storefront, and here's our engine that we make for everybody. You can just outsource this, and we're no longer a games maker. We're just gonna, put out Fortnite and put out a whole bunch of other stuff. That's not anything that we did back in the day. I mean, when was the last time you heard of an Unreal tournament? Or, man, when the last Gears of War drop? Or is there even a Gears of War now being made?
Oh, man.
I gotta check something real quick.
What's that?
Never mind. Who owns that?
T-Zar's like, it's too early. Well, T-Zar, you need to get some more pee-pee. Get yourself some pee-pee, aka some coffee.
That woke me up.
And get yourself going with some juju.
That woke me up. Our favorite jokey joke. Nat, he got you back. You need to get more fries there, bro.
If by fries you mean oatmeal, I already got it. That'd be perfect for oatmeal packet to come in. Because, I love oatmeal packets. They're like the greatest invention mankind ever did. At least I think so.
We actually did 2 workouts last night. Or I did. Chest is killing me already. Thanks.
For some reason I had in my brain, the opening screens of Turok and thinking it was Activision, but it was Acclaim. And I was like, who owns Acclaim? Who bought all the stuff? And a whole bunch of different people did, but the people who own Turok are private.
Okay.
That's
I would love for a Turok to get remade.
Yeah, it's just like you're thinking about this Microsoft deal, and you're just like, what game series did Activision just acquire and just kill? And you're like, Turok. No, Turok's something else. But that was actually a good thought, a very good thought to have that.
Well, how many times can you think of just old games and just seeing that Activision logo come up?
Yeah.
It's just a ridiculous amount. To the point where you think it's Activision and it's actually Acclaim and stuff like that. It's just
GHQ. Same boat.
Yeah. Well, I love GHQ. I was upset they got defunct, but they kind of got away from what they did well, which
I mean, they did a lot of sports games. They did a lot of like simulation games, and then Saints Row.
well, the big one for THQ. So THQ owned Volition, and Volition made Free Space, which is one of the biggest like space sims of the 90s. This day, like a bunch of people play and mod Free Space too. And then the Volition team got switched to Saints Row. And Saints Row just became like, oh, this is our GTA. Mm-hmm.
And then when they realized they couldn't compete with GTA, they were just like, oh, well, now we're going to spin it off into this crazy off-the-wall thing and put in Roddy Piper and Keith David.
Oh, shit. So there's a game that we played very early on in our life as a channel. It's ACtivision. It was our first Halloween play.
That's not Hexen.
Name that game.
I feel like I should know this.
I should know this too. Oh, crap. Yeah, definitely not Hexen.
What the fuck?
I wonder if they own D.
It's
Damn.
N64 Nightmare Creatures.
Oh shit!
Nightmare
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
mean-
it's like
You mean this?
Yep. So you see the little logo right there at the bottom.
It is there.
I like how he just have the Nightmare Creatures just right there, dead center. That's pretty awesome.
I have all my. I know we've lost. I used to have a lot of OG games, but I lost them like 15 years ago. But I still have a nice plethora of 64 games down there.
So you're the opposite of Jenny from the block. You used to have a lot, now you have a little.
Yep.
It's just so people like thinking that this Activision Microsoft deal is bad for gaming and everything like that. And yeah, it's more consolidation that's happening.
I mean, I guess there's a select group, but if you talk to any Activision Blizzard fans,
They're like, this is a good thing.
overwhelmingly 75+% of any poll is positive. Like, thank God for Microsoft.
I'm pretty excited because I really want to play Diablo 2 Resurrected, but I haven't felt comfortable doing that.
Oh yeah.
Now that, now Kotick is getting the old hee-ho, you can go ahead and just say, okay, well, all that toxic management could be out of there, and we could go ahead and go back to being Blizzard fans. It's just, like I said, there were people that say this is bad for gaming, but then I'm just thinking, well, Activision Blizzard was just sitting on these titles. They were basically, like, a lesser version of Konami. And it was just like not doing anything with their IPs except just putting out the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And now Microsoft's gonna be like, oh, we got all these. Let's go ahead and just give ourselves variety here. Sprinkle a little bit of Salt Bay, a little bit of Hexen here, a little bit of Crash Bandicoot here, a little bit of Nightmare Creatures there, a little bit of Diablo here, a little bit of Microsoft. We're PC. You know what's funny and popular on PC? Real-time strategy games. We have this little thing now called StarCraft.
Yeah, that they haven't touched for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And when did they touch it even before that? I mean, you had, like, the canceled StarCraft Ghost?
Well, StarCraft original was 97.
Yeah.
Oh.
And StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So, long time.
It was popular. I don't get why they didn't just touch it again, because they didn't do Call of Duty sales. Real-time strategy games are never going to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because it's Activision. Because the Activision was like, all right, if I had to pick between doing another StarCraft and selling $5 million, or doing Overwatch or something that could potentially be $10 million. Well, I'm going to pick the Overwatch instead of being like, let's just make good games that sell well and they're always going to make money. They kind of pioneered the idea of monetization through time consumption. All right, so they wanted your attention. They wanted you there. They wanted to send their content release to little trickles and then gate it into time. So you had to spend all your time to keep playing that game because they knew people had that kind of like addictive drive. It was, it was an abuse of power almost. It was very, just the way they monetized and the way they created content and released it was extremely toxic, and that was what was really not good for gaming. Like,
No.
Look at Shadowlands release for WoW. Terrible. Okay, so I paid $60 for a game, and the initial upfront game, we all understand, is the base story, and then you'll get more story with next expansion, like next patch. And you'll do story patches, you'll get content releases. Like every other MMO that's existed. That's how it works.
That's
they
the
can only
beginning of
put
time.
so much in, release it, then they'll fix it, get more story, release it. Well, they were like, well, we'd rather have you play a long time. So we're going to put a whole bunch of systems in here that you have to keep on working on. And then, well, we don't want you doing the story all at once because you might leave. Even though you paid for the whole story.
Yeah. You already paid $60 for the new expansion. Then they not to interrupt.
And you
they
get part of it.
They time gated, so you have to keep coming back for the next, 6 months.
Yeah, to get past just that initial storyline, with even if you were playing, and to do it in the shortest amount of time possible, with the way they time gated it all, it was like 14 weeks or something, just to get to the end of chapter 1, which means that your 30-day game time with your expansion pass is already expired. You done bought 2 more months of sub.
Yep.
Okay, well, your $60 game is not a $60 game anymore. Just to get the content I was supposedly promised from the first game, like first purchase, it's actually $84. But they know that. That's a corporate move, and it pisses a lot of people off. But they know people. There's such a big audience that's part. So WoW's not really growing anymore. What really has is just diehards, and they know that big, large core group of people, and a lot of them just play WoW. They don't play other games. They'll just deal with it. They're not going to stop playing.
They've been playing WoW for almost 20 years.
Playing WoW for almost 20 years. They were playing EverQuest before that.
They have vested interest. Like, they can't stop because they think that their time, all the time they spent the last 20 years doing it, will have been for nothing. So it's this conundrum to them. Like, I got to just keep playing it. I can't stop playing it. Otherwise, what I've been doing for 20 years. So they just put up with it. So you still got millions of people subbing for it now. Well, maybe not millions anymore, but a very large portion. So how do they get more money out of a population that's not growing? Well, you make them pay for subs longer, and then you just find different ways to incentivize them to pay for extra things on the cash shop. Oh, and the third way, of course, is the WoW token. 100%. They make buku buck off the WoW token. WoW token is a real money auction house.
Yeah, so like a marriage, as Wayne King Tizar said. It's just people just feel like they're tied to it, and they just can't let it go, and they can't get going. And glad I never really got into a game so much where I feel like my entire life was devoted to it, so I just have to keep going with it and just keep going with it and not just move on from one game to the next. That's what I always just dug about, just going from the non-subscription service and just going I'm like, oh, I'm done with this game. It's over. Period. Meanwhile, the antithesis of what you're talking about, I'm seeing people beating Endwalker in like 2 weeks, and I'm just like, okay. I guess people really enjoy the shit out of that expansion. It's already over with them, so now it's just at this point just getting updated so they can keep playing. But they keep playing just because it's fun, not because of I gotta like be vested in this and keep going. They just keep going because it's a good story and they just want to keep playing because it's fun.
And 14's like little tip screens and everything that come up, they're all about like, okay, no, come here, play what we have to offer, get your fill, go play something else. We'll come up with something new so you can come back. We'll keep coming up with stuff to make you come back, not try to drag out how long you're here.
Exactly.
Oh, you want to fight Kefka? Here he is. Oh, you want to return to Ivalice? Here you go. Oh, you want to do like a Tactics Ogre battle raid? Here you go. And just do like this smorgasbord of just content that Square Enix is holding on to. Like, oh, we're gonna put it in FF14.
Yeah.
Just sprinkle it all in there. Going back.
And that's not necessarily anything that's evil about WoW and MMOs. MMOs are a great thing for a lot of people to connect and play with other people online.
But the problem with WoW is that they padded it way too much and just spread it out to where it's just be like, all right, we're gonna you're gonna have to come back to this because you got to figure out what's gonna happen in the story next. But that's gonna happen 30 days from now, and you're just like, what the hell?
30 days is being nice.
They got too far. Yeah, that's being nice. They got too far away from treating it like a game and a passion project for a team, and it's just, how do we milk this cow anymore? We found our whales. Let's get more money out. How do we monopolize their time more? How do we make sure that they don't find another game and realize that our game's super dated?
Exactly.
It's kind of like you were making a Stewie. You were making a Stewie reference earlier. How about where he's like dragging his diaper around? He's like, Peter, help! I can't fit any more in there.
But Microsoft doesn't typically function like that because they have so many properties and they have so many things. They have the Game Pass. Like, we want you to have the Game Pass. We want you to play all this library games because we want you to keep paying for the Game Pass. So we're going to keep putting new things in there, first-party things. So they don't need that, right? Because their retention and their big success has been the Game Pass, and the Game Pass doesn't care what game you're playing.
No, because you're paying for it anyway, so it'll just be like, here you go. Now here's one thing, and here's the next, and here's the next.
As soon as you play 2 games on Game Pass, you basically paid for it for the year, too.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how long it's going to last, but yeah.
It'll last. They're making buku buck off it because
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I'm talking about, when it's like, oh, well, let's enter Netflix for like $6 a month, and now it's like $18 a month or whatever it is.
I mean,
oh, you mean that way? I don't think it's gonna go up in price for a while.
Maybe not.
People bitch too much. Even at $18 a month, Netflix is a fucking deal. Right? That's cheaper than going to the movies one time.
It just combine that though with the price of other streaming services and the fragmentation that's going on between Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock, and everything else like that. With our powers combined, we are the same price as cable, if not more expensive.
Well, yeah. Well, that's how cable came about. So when cable came out, there was just public broadcasting, and then there became cable networks that said, "Hey, are you tired of paying for all these different channels that you want? What we're going to do is we're going to create packages where all these channels have deals with us. We give you one package, you pay one price, and you get all these cable networks." And sure shit. So now we got the rise
Except
of
for
the streaming, and
HBO.
And other people are coming out. Like, well, Disney wants one, but HBO Max wants. And now there's all these ones that are out there. Still cheaper than cable networks of yore. Cable networks has also come down a lot because they were getting ridiculous. Oh, your cable package is $250 a month, and you get like 2 extra sports channels.
Like, why?
Still kind of like that in some areas where there's a monopoly in the area where there's no other option. Like there's no Verizon in my area. There's no like AT&T or Cox or Turner or whatever it is and everything like that.
Are you getting belted by Broad Stripe?
No, I don't even have that. I'd love to have that. I don't even have that in my area.
I know in Brooklyn, Broad Stripe was the only provider for a while, and they were charging something stupid like $200+.
Yeah, we only got Comcrap up here.
I have Comcast. I'm on Comcast right now.
Yep.
Yeah, but you have options in your area though.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm paying like $100.
Yeah. Because I can't be like threatening to switch except for anything but Dish. But then every time I see like trying to switch to a Dish, I'm just like, man, they're dropping stuff like left and right. Like, oh, we're dropping this
Dish.
channel. We're dropping this. We're dropping that. We're dropping, and it's just like they're. I even see on like Dish services like, oh, we don't have the basic networks anymore. We don't have Fox or NBC or anything like that. I'm like, how the hell are you a cable service provider and you don't have the networks on?
Oh yeah.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, it's real dumb.
And people are worried about, and that's the competition breeds excellence, and it keeps price check because they got to compete with each other. People are like, well, if Activision's going there, how you can compete? I'm like, Microsoft was never competing with Activision. Microsoft competed with Sony, and even
who was Activision's other competitor? EA.
Yeah,
Sony can buy them if they want. No one cares about EA.
The only other game company I want to get consolidated like this is Konami.
Yeah, I mean, and Konami very similar. Like you have all these great properties that don't get used because you figure you make a lot more money on your Shingo. So they're basically a gambling company. So we're just like, here's our new pachinko pinball game, Castlevania: Lament of Retard.
Buy our NFT.
Yeah.
Castlevania's 35th anniversary. How do we celebrate it? $160,000 for a JPEG. Here you go.
Cool. I could have made that myself.
I could have right-clicked that. In fact, I just did. Here you go. Saved on my computer. I own it now, bitch.
We just can put it in... All right, I screenshot it.
Yeah, you can put it in the metaverse.
Here, check out our NFT. It's our dancing emote. It's Donkey Kong. Go fuck off.
That's our own Bored Ape Yacht Club, except he's not bored. He's dancing. It's more interesting than a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Okay, so yeah, Konami is the one company I want to see get consolidated in this way, so we can just bring everything back. Let's not mention Metal Gear. Let's not mention Silent Hill, the big players of Konami and their Pro Evolution Soccer. Or they don't call that anymore, do they? But then they've got Mystical Ninja, Suikoden. You've got all these other like hidden gems that Konami had. I mean, for the love of God, Konami was so big in the Nintendo era. They had so many games they were putting out a year, they literally had to come up with a new name for a company and consolidate it called Ultra Games. That's how big Konami was. And then I'm just looking at like Jeff Keighley's graphic that he put out of like other companies, and I'm like, okay, Bandai Namco's up there for good reason because they're freaking a Goliath right now, and they're about to drop a huge AAA bomb on the freaking video game market in a couple weeks in Elden Ring. But it's just like, man, how the hell is Konami still in like the $7 billion range? And like they're making money off their pachinko machines, their medical equipment. That's how they're doing it. And they're just like, here you go, $160,000 for a JPEG. And I'm just like, God.
Yeah, I would. If there was one company I went to buy them, it'd be Nintendo.
Oh God, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it would. I could get on board with that.
So could I. In fact, when I think of Konami, I do think of Nintendo for that very reason I just mentioned, because I'm like, Konami was so big they had to separate into two different companies so they could publish their games on Nintendo, because Nintendo had a publishing limit back in the day.
They're like, yeah, we're calling ourselves Ultra. You're welcome.
Ultra. They had a really cool logo too. I really dug that.
Ultra. Konami.
It's so nostalgic to see Ultra games on like a cartridge or on like a game JPEG. Sell an NFT of that. I'm still not buying it, but you know, for all the NFT suckers out there, go for it.
Here, you can buy our NFT. Here it is.
Flashing bear logo.
It's really easy if anybody wants to do it. Just take our logo and Google make flashing emote. It took me 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let me see if I can even right click that and Yeah, right-click that. Save image as. It's right there. Get on our chat and just right-click Save image as. Congratulations. You now have our flashing emote. You didn't have to pay anything for it.
You're welcome.
No blockchain. No energy was wasted in this right-click.
You're welcome, guys. That's what we're here for. To be jerks.
What a stupid-ass fucking concept. I cannot believe that it's just so amazing freaking money laundering is going on with that. It's just, how do people not recognize it's a pyramid scheme?
Hey, South Park already made fun of it. It was great.
Good.
Because it's
That's
nifty.
Meanwhile, for me, NFT stands for no fucking thanks.
Nice.
Not that stupid ass word they want to put in there, fungible. I'm like, fungible?
Sounds like a kid. That sounds like a kid's afternoon snack.
I'm like Phoebe from Friends. Or no, Monica from Friends. That's not even a word!
So I was
Transbuster.
as we were talking, I was going back and looking at the list of Activision games and realized that they did all the Ultimate Alliance games and like basically every Marvel game from like 2000 to 2010.
Oh my god, how could I forget about this one?
And
Tenchu.
And Tony Hawk.
They did release a Tony Hawk in the last year or so, but it was a remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Not
like
bad.
I'm talking like all of them.
All the Tony Hawks. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily blame Activision for that one. That's a licensing thing, you know, to re-put those out because of all the freaking music that's in them. But, God, I just thought of Tenchu, Stealth Assassins. That series could come back.
Yeah, I think I have an Activision game here that I want to play on the channel. I do. I should have played it
Guitar
when
Hero 3?
I should have played it when No Way Home came out, but I didn't. It didn't click in my mind.
Oh, that's right. They did the Spooderman games on PS2.
They did.
Neil Spooderman. Kneel before my Spooderman.
Spooder! How you doing there, Mr. Spooder?
Yeah, I forgot about this.
You want to go to the Sizzler later there, Spooder?
I'd love to go to a fucking Sizzler. Where is there a Sizzler at?
There actually, I think, is one still, as Tang mentioned, in Brooklyn.
There's no Sizzler in Brooklyn.
I wouldn't say it's high quality, but I thought I saw a Sizzler there. All right, good old Google Maps search, and we'll have you taken care of. Hi,
You're paying a little too heavy? Okay, it still exists. Location. They're all on the West Coast, and there's one in Florida.
Yep.
Indian Sizzler.
Where's this one in?
Aladdin Sizzler.
It's near Disney.
Oh shit! Wow. Next time I go to Disney, I'm going to Sizzler.
Am I spelling it right with Z's?
2 Z's, dummy.
Okay, I got you. It's just giving me like Aladdin Sizzler and Indian Sizzler.
Because they're
Indian Sizzler.
Because they're local.
Yeah.
And it's not the Sizzler I'm talking about. I'm talking good old-fashioned Fat Boy steaks.
No.
Exactly.
You'll be the old Indian Sizzler.
They're just talking about sizzly food.
Give me my sizzles. Oh my goodness. So that was bringing back old stuff. Okay, so who can consolidate who has the Sizzler name and bring that back?
I wish somebody did.
There's like a ridiculous amount of locations.
Yeah, there's like 100 on the left side of the map.
On the other side of the map, which we're not on. That's why I was just like, all right, let's just go local, because I'm just like, a lot of times I'd be like, where the hell is there a Sheets, or where the hell is there a Highs, or whatever it is, you know? Because I'm just like, where's the closest one?
Well, that'll be good.
There should be a Sheets coming in close to us.
There's just Sheets 2 minutes from my house. They're not special anymore.
No, they used to be.
I can spit on Sheets from here.
Hey,
They used to be. Same thing with Sonic.
they're still special.
Yeah, they're supposed to be adding a Sheets by the airport. So
Nice.
yeah, that'll be pretty close to work.
they'll probably inflate the gas there because by the airports they'll be like, all right, $3.20 for gas. We're gonna be $3.55.
Actually, I drove by the what's our AAA baseball team?
The Norfolk Tides.
Double A.
Okay, so you're probably
Whatever.
talking about you're probably talking about the Keys, right?
No, what team's in Bowie? Why can't I think of it?
Bay Sox.
Yeah, Bay Sox. So I drove past there recently, and gas was hiked up to like 360. Like
Yeah.
right next.
Prince George. It's always high in Prince George's County.
Well, yeah, but that was like ridiculously high.
Yeah.
And it was just that one right next to the stadium. I was like, come on.
Go to Columbia too, and Columbia, it's like all of a sudden it jumps by like 40 cents.
That's what I got to say about that.
And I'm just thinking I could just drive 2 miles down the street and it's like 40 cents cheaper.
Yeah, there's a lot of old games that came out that I'm looking at. They had a lot. They had a lot on Atari too.
The old Atari.
People don't realize Activision has been around forever. But people only like remember the Bobby Kotick era just because it's just like, oh, well, here's Activision front and center in your face. Whereas back in the day, they were just another gaming company like everybody else.
Who owns Midway now?
They're all over the place. Same thing. Just people just gobbled up the IPs when Midway went by the wayside. And really, it was Mortal Kombat that was a big one, and they went to Warner Brothers.
I guess they own Rampage too.
Well, here's a play. You realize everyone's making their own platform fighters now. So
yes,
the library of Microsoft, if they decide to make that play themselves, just got a lot bigger. Like, you have now a potential platform fighter with like Call of Duty Bro versus
Doom Guy.
Like, versus Thrall and Doom Guy.
A big idea.
Rash versus Crash Bandicoot. Rash versus Crash.
Yeah. Which is funny because the company everyone kind of thought they were going to buy, because they knew Microsoft was gearing up to buy someone. Everyone thought they were going to buy Sega. Because Microsoft already had such a relationship with Sega recently.
And if you think about it, the Xbox was just a continuation of the Dreamcast. Same control, almost the same controller layout and everything.
I love the original Xbox controller.
Yeah, just big, hefty beef right there. That was a lot of beef on that freaking Xbox.
Big old Duke.
You gotta stop talking about beef. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, of course. If you're talking about platform fighters, talking about platform fighters and everything like that. Now all of a sudden, Killer Instinct got interesting if they want to release one of those.
Well, they already had all these guest characters in KI, and the rumors are that the Japanese company is making a new KI.
Yeah, you had a Battletoad in there, and as I said, now Crash Bandicoot and a Killer Instinct, you fit perfectly. Hell, even put like generic Call of Duty Bro in a Killer Instinct to be like, okay, be kind of a cool little fighter. Be like Chris Redfield in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom.
Right, Ray.
Yeah, it can even be Patrick Swayze. He can represent Call of Duty Ghost.
give him a roundhouse kick as well. And that's all he does. He has one move, roundhouse kick. But it's like plus 15 on block.
It looks like they also own Earthworm Jim.
Really? Now I want to see him in Killer Instinct.
I mean, yeah, looking into the catalog, you're just going to keep seeing a longer list of things that haven't seen light of day in decades.
Earthworm Jim hasn't had a game since N64.
No. I was like, oh, remember when he used to be a big gaming icon? Like freaking.
He was huge back in the 90s. Huge.
He has a
Mario
TV
and
show.
Sonic.
Yeah, I got that on
He was
DVD.
bigger than the Tick.
I got that on DVD somewhere.
He was bigger than the Tick.
Talk about his Tick, man.
So Activision released a game in 1996 on PC. And since you're so PC now, Ray, I'm going to make you play this if we can find a copy of it. It's called Muppet Treasure Island.
Probably on Steam. Odds are. Since you know PC is the ultimate backwards compatibility machine here. It's like, hey, you want an idea of what an all-digital gaming future looks like? Go on Steam, because they've got games that are on there since 2003 that have not been delisted. There are games that are delisted because of licensing reasons, but other than that, they're just like, no, you can't stop selling this game.
Don't worry, I'm going to Steam right now to see if the Muppet Treasure Island's there.
Okay. If not, I'm sure we could find some version of it somewhere. The XE's got to be around there somewhere. Yeah, backwards compatibility and everything like that. And everyone's talking about Sony ramping up their backwards compatibility. I'm just like, no, what Sony is going to do is lock it behind a paywall to where you got to pay like a subscription service to get like a library of PS1, PS2, and PS3 games that you have to buy again. That's what they're going to do. That's why I'm not excited at all when people are saying, oh, Sony's got backwards compatibility patents going up. I'm like, unless I can plug in my copy of Battle Arena Toshinden into a PS5, no deal, bro.
No thanks.
I want Destruction Derby 1, my disc copy of Destruction Derby 1. I want to be able to play Alundra on my PS5.
Yep.
Does anyone really trust anything that's going to be the backwards compatibility with PlayStation? How many times do you need to buy the same shit over again with?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm just like, when I think of Sony and backwards compatibility, that's what I think of now. I was like, oh, here are PS2 classics on the PS4. I'm like, I have to buy these again? I mean, there are games on the PS2 classic that I bought that I didn't own, like Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits. I'm like, okay, I'll buy that because I didn't own that. But other than that, I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, I already own a lot of these games. I
remember because I sent you the money on PlayStation Network to buy it because I was like, we have to play this.
It gave a strange person, man, and hi Maru.
I'm coming for you.
But then that was it. And then they just stopped making games for it. And I'm just like, yep, that's typical Sony. Just be like, if this doesn't take off like within a day, they're just like, fuck it, it's done. So stupid. That's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of backwards compatibility. They're gonna paywall this shit, and they're gonna just only give you a certain library of that. I mean, there's another company that does that, and that's Nintendo. Don't get me wrong. They're not, heaven's harbingers on that one either, because their N64 service is lacking. And just
they were a little better at it.
A little better, but not much. And at the same time, it's like, okay, even when the Wii Shop channel came out, they offered like a big selection of games, but not the entire catalog of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and there's just thousands of games they could have put on there, and they only put on like a few dozen.
Well, the problem with that is they probably couldn't get some of the licenses, some of them. So
of course,
licenses, code don't exist anymore. There's not a lot of foresight for it.
All that stuff. I do agree that they should have released more of their games, which damn well they still have everything for.
But the difference was look at PS3 to PS4, right? Not a single thing you had on PS3 became applicable on PS4.
Yeah.
Until a subscription service.
Yeah.
Right. When they went from the Wii to the Wii U, like you set up your Wii U, and then you could transport all the titles that you had that you bought. Like from the emulators that were on, and they would send a little rocket ship and put it on the Wii U.
Yeah. So you got to buy it again. And if you wanted to buy again, so you could just play it on the Wii U, they only charge you like $1.
Yeah, it was like 99 cents to buy it again if you already owned it, or you transferred it over. Good
morning, Fortune. And yes, we are chatty Cathy's right now. Although my coffee is empty, I should refill that later on. But that's a benefit. I just descaled my Keurig yesterday, so all kinds of freshness. How often do you all descale your coffee machines?
I don't.
I have a Ninja. You don't have to descale it. You just kind of every now and then, pretty often, you just run a hot water cycle and it'll flush it.
Yeah, I just run vinegar through that. When I descale it, I just run like vinegar mixture through it, and then I just like flush it out.
I also am using water that is going through a full water treatment system I have here at home.
Yes, your water treatment system is very loud. I've noticed sometimes, especially when
when it's restocking the water tanks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like all of a sudden, like I'm just cleaning out a paintbrush here, and all of a sudden I'm hearing a.
Yeah, because it's putting through the desalination pump.
I did paint Tang's cabinets a couple weeks ago. How are your cabinets holding up, good sir?
We're doing good. Everything looks great. Did you get a message from a friend of mine?
I have not yet. No.
He's supposed to contact you, Big Fred.
Ah, okay.
He was trying to pull numbers on his cabinets, and he said he was getting numbers that were ludicrous. I was like, well, your kitchen's not much bigger than mine. I think you'd still be in the same ballpark, so give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like he's probably getting like the prices like I could just buy new cabinets for that price, but then I'm like looking at him like, oh wait, the price of wood. Shit.
Well, the price of wood came down a little bit.
It did. It's not as ludicrous as it was at the beginning of the pandemic. It's still up there and everything like that. Meanwhile, you go to like a Sherwin-Williams type paint store, they're charging you like a 4% upcharge because of a supply chain fee. I'm like, you're the only retailer that's doing this.
Oh yeah.
And
you go to Lowe's and Home Depot, it's normal prices.
Yeah, and you already jacked up the prices as it was in August. They keep blaming the Texas freeze. I'm just like, you can only do so much with that.
Or Sherwin-Williams. We're still fighting in Texas.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm no longer like handcuffed to apartments where I have to use that paint for touch-up purposes and everything else like that. Now I can just use what the hell I want. I got a freaking Lowe's account, got a freaking Home Depot account. I'd be like, okay, Valspar, Bear, your choice.
Yeah, you better
always go with the Bear.
You better use Bear.
Go with the Bear. Oh yes. So yeah, backwards compatibility. I have like no faith that Sony will be able to, counterpunch this Microsoft. Everybody thinks they're going to do something. They have to do something to counterpunch the Activision Blizzard, acquisition.
Until Microsoft has developed new IPs that are new IPs or brought back existing IPs from other things that become super successful exclusives that cater to that specific target audience. Really, Sony doesn't have to counterpunch them. Because right now, they kind of fill two different needs in the gaming scape.
Yeah.
They compete, but they don't really compete. They kind of fill separate niches for them.
They fill separate niches for the most part. You were cutting off there, but yeah, it just to me, it's like, okay, whatever they're going to do, and it looks like it's backwards compatibility, but I'm like, they're going to fuck it up. I have zero faith. They're going to fuck it up.
How many times has Sony said something about backwards compatibility? This is nothing new.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing they did say, which was concrete, was like, I don't think it's a feature that anybody wants. Who want to play this kind of stuff? And then he just got freaking murdered, like ratioed hard. I think that's the word
why would anyone ever?
This
say
coming
that?
from the company who made an ad about how to share games by handing them over.
Yeah.
The irony of that is that they were like, "Oh, yeah, Microsoft, you think you're so cool getting rid of physical copies of games? Oh, look how we share games." Hey, guess what everyone does now? Buys a digital copy of the game.
Yeah.
Laughs and still buys discs.
Except for Ray, who doesn't know what
because I could just... So I played
is.
Forza Horizon 5. I played this and that. I don't have anything on there. Like, it's just... I have the Ultimate Game Pass. It cost me a whopping $14 a month. And I get access to all these damn freaking titles. Like, why am I going to go pay $60 for a disc that I'm probably going to lose? At this point in my life, I'll be like, where the hell did that disc go?
Well, guess I can't play it now.
It's like I got out Uncle Jackie's Xbox One because I bought my nephew a game for Christmas, so he could actually like play it on his on my uncle's Xbox One. He had a copy of Fallout 4 in there. My nephew was just spinning it on his finger like a freaking like record. He was just spinning it around his finger like, hey, you play that.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse when game streaming gets better and better.
That's
like, why run a disc? You just press a button. You don't even need to download
probably
it.
Still far off. Has anybody seen Kingdom Hearts on Switch yet?
Yeah,
no.
I heard about it.
I have game streamed from the Amazon stream service.
Luna.
It runs pretty well.
That runs pretty well, but in terms of like actual like fidelity and being able to like, you know, because everybody's also put this big push for esports and everything like that. Well, you can't really do a big push for esports if a game's being streamed to you. You got to stream the button back, and then you got to be able to stream that to all the people online and everything like that. In terms of the esports push, it's still a long way away for game streaming. And plus, I mean, we're talking about you were talking about Microsoft when they launched Xbox One and PS4 going against each other in terms of Microsoft being an online-only console, and everyone was like complaining about how bad American internet infrastructure was 10 years ago. It hasn't gotten much better in 10 years. I mean, mobile internet has gotten better, but in terms of like actual like house wired, we now have data caps. That's the big innovation in home internet. There hasn't been any like improvement in internet infrastructure for the home, and it's just like I just feel like game streaming would be there. Game streaming would be there. It's just I just still feel like it's a long way away especially when I see Kingdom Hearts on the Switch, and I'm just like, this is a PS2 game. Most of these were PS2 games that are running like crap. They're running like a
PlayStation was notoriously hard to develop for. Like that's why they don't emulate well.
Yep.
Well, in terms of this, it doesn't press buttons well either. You're just like, you blink and all of a sudden, oh, Sora's already dead. Damn.
That was their big announcement, like last week or something, right? For their
it was just they were just like
whatever anniversary they're on now.
20th anniversary for Kingdom Hearts.
Got
gaming it. Gaming anniversaries are bullshit. So it's just like, here's a demo to stream Kingdom Hearts on Switch. How does it feel? And it's overwhelmingly negative.
Well, I don't think you should make your big announcements by putting them on a different console.
Yeah, I mean,
now you got to buy it again on that system.
For the time being, streaming is going to be hardcore a wired setup type deal. Like, if you're not hard connected and you're running through Wi-Fi, it's just going to be harder.
Yep.
But most people run through Wi-Fi now. I mean,
that's true.
I don't even stream through a hard wire. I don't run the 50-foot cable upstairs anymore. I just stream through the Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi signal's so strong down here. I can actually get a decent stream over Wi-Fi and it'd be okay. But in terms of like it's still wired. Wired is still the way to go if you want it, like, you know, a consistency. And it's just, I mean, look at like a lot of your fighting games nowadays where they got to like differentiate who's on Wi-Fi and who's on wired, and people see like Wi-Fi, oh, I don't want to touch that, especially if you're playing Tekken 7 on.
Well, that's because of peer-to-peer and the cap, how high you can go on what your upload-download speeds are on wired is just so much better. It doesn't really matter that much with rollback though. Hence the push to rollback.
That is the future. And that is the future, especially if there's a Virtua Fighter 6.
Yes.
There's going to be.
Yep.
Virtua Fighter 5 did well. They did the Capcom BS, but they actually did it well by giving the game away for free. There's like, here's a game that you've already owned, a game that you've played 10 years ago, but we're going to give it away for free on modern hardware and see what kind of attraction we can get, and we'll just sell extra DLC for people to buy on. And it's been an overwhelming success, and they're all of a sudden be like, okay, Virtua Fighter 6 is coming in the future.
Okay.
It's coming.
It's coming for us.
Yeah. That'd be good.
So we're going to wrap this up before everybody get to go to work. What are you all excited for in the coming months?
That's releasing.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's releasing.
Nothing.
King of Fighters.
Shatter all expectations. Yeah, that new character they just revealed, Elizabeth, I think her name is, looks pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got that season pass I got you for your birthday for Guilty Gear Strive. You got Biken coming out.
Yeah, big booby Biken.
Yeah. It's like, oh, she's the new Cerberus. It's like she's got 2 heads and 1 head and everything like that.
Certainly, they push magnify on our assets. Enhance.
Just keep going. And everyone was like, oh man, these character designs, they're more grounded. They're more grounded in reality. Then all of a sudden, they're like, here's biking.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, there's a lot of things that are announced that I think are really cool and I'm excited to see more of, but nothing that's like in release.
I hope Elden Ring does well. I mean, I know that, everyone's like really, really gearing on it. I don't have any time to play that in the coming months, but in terms of Elden Ring, I hope it does well, because in terms of like Japanese development, I want Bandai Namco to have their hands in more cookie jars, especially if they're making a new Killer Instinct, which would be awesome. And it's just like, Bandai Namco shadow develops a whole bunch of other games. Did everybody know Bandai Namco developed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
Yeah, everyone knows.
Everyone knows, because that's the big thing right there. If they can get their hands in the cookie jar and be able to do more things for development, that's a good thing. Especially we're talking about consolidation in gaming industry and everything like that. Get Bandai Namco up there so they can be able to develop good shit and get that going. But for me, that I'm excited for in the next coming months and everything that's happening is I'm actually now kind of into that Team Ninja Stranger of Paradise game. With the latest trailer that came out, they put freaking Frank Sinatra in it. But that's not that's not the reason why I'm really excited for it. It actually looks a lot better than.
Has he been sitting on his hand?
He did it his way.
I do it my.
That was literally the trailer, Nags. They put it at the end. The dude going, "I'm here to kill chaos. I want to kill chaos." It's all about this. But now it's all about forgetting and everything like that. And it's just, the funny thing about that is that they want you to take the game seriously, but it's so, campy. How can you take it seriously? And that's the game's charm, is that it's going to be so bad, it's going to be good.
That's perfect.
And the fact it's going to have the Neo combat system, I am here for it.
No.
Well, I'm not excited for anything, except I'm excited for us as the channel. We get to go back to some of the games that we played before.
I can get you excited for the pixel remaster of FF6, considering that we have a fast forward function and it's more quality of life features.
I don't want to go back.
I'm excited for seeing someone hit up Mystical Ninja.
Yeah.
I'm there.
It'll be a first playthrough if I play it.
Just get him on the back, doing a snow angel as he's crawling across the floor.
Oh, Goya.
Hoya.
It was Goemon. What was that guy's name?
Ibisumaru.
Abisimaru.
Goemon.
I'm just excited for one character.
Do you have any good pipe?
Guy's just polishing his Squirtle the entire time.
We should.
Oh, you want it real bad?
Oh, we still have to play the Super Nintendo version, which is multiplayer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can have Abisimaru. I'll play as Goemon.
Oh, so I get that guy. Cool.
You want it, right?
We don't know any of it. I never said that.
I'm about to say, I'm like, I'll take Abisimaru.
I don't care who I get. Just let me see their powers and abilities.
I mean, Bismaru is the guy that has a meat hammer.
Okay, yep, I'll take him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'll give you the cool character. I'll take Goemon. I'll take the lead guy.
And if you kill things with the meat hammer, it gives you it makes more dumplings pop up to refill your health.
Ooh.
We can make a Pixar short out of it.
Yeah. So we literally got a fucking meat and a bone hammer.
Nice.
And that's in the Mystical Ninja 64, like that too. We never got to the point where we got it for him though.
I wish.
We'll
get there now.
That time will come again.
Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Dash.
Even bopped.
We got that, and what else we got? We have to play Hercules. We have to play Star Wars again.
Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap.
That'd be a good one to do with Daisy.
And the new one, we can actually do the newer one that came out too.
Yeah,
Pokemons.
I can take care of that one here.
Pokemon.
Pokemon Snap.
Gotta snap them all. Or play the Pokemon first-person shooter that's out there.
What?
Go on Kotaku right now. There's a Pokemon first-person shooter that somebody made. Nintendo is trying to scrub it from the internet.
Why would you do that? Don't do that.
Guy was just bored, so he just made a Pokemon first-person shooter.
Perfect. Let's go. Why haven't you downloaded it yet? And why have you waited until today to tell me?
Like I said, because if we try to stream it or put it on YouTube or anything like that, Nintendo is just going to be on your ass. Like, instantly. Like, they don't want that to exist. Like, they are on it like freaking white on rice.
Well, they have every other version of Pokemon out.
Property. They don't want FPSs and Pokemon to mix.
They also don't want, their Pokemon getting shot with blood coming out of them, because that's what's happening.
Sounds like a perfect game.
Yeah.
Oh, but you'll make a game about how Professor Oak is the dirtiest fool ever in the world. That's okay.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, Ash, as soon as you leave home, me and your mom are gonna be getting busy. I know I didn't technically say that, but that's what I'm going to do. So here's a Pokemon and some Pokeballs. Get the fuck out.
Have some fun. Go play. Be back by before 9.
Nope, just don't come back at all.
Be back before never.
When he sends you to the next town, it's to get condoms for him.
There's my 7-Eleven rewards card.
Triple red before pleasure.
Don't get the other
back now, you hear? Greetings, Northwestern Country Girl, 117. I'm thinking that's what NW stands for. It's Northwestern. Could also be new Country Girl.
So yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Just being able to revisit old games on the channel. I got you.
Yes.
We are a retro channel. We are a retro channel after all.
Yeah, and obviously, as the announcements pick up for what Microsoft intends to do with the Activision properties, that'll be exciting.
Yes. Very much looking forward to that. Anybody got anything else before we wrap this puppy up?
No, I'm just excited to go back to those games. That's it. I'm not excited for any game coming out. I really don't give a shit. They all suck. That's my 2 cents.
So, Nags is the game over screen for Friday the 13th. You and your friends are dead. Game over.
I mean, they all just. I just feel like in the gaming world, the quality has gone way down recently. And it's just sad. And it makes me mad. And I guess I'm just nostalgic for the 90s since it's been 30 years.
Yes, we are now closer to the 90s than 1990s were closer to the 70s. Think on that.
That's right. Mofo.
Feel old yet? Alright guys, we're going to wrap this up for another edition of Bears in Chairs, because we all have day jobs, we all have to go to work, and we all have to get more coffee, or at least I'm going to get more coffee. And then,
some of us have been up since 4:50 in the morning, already went and did a workout.
Go get another cup of coffee, and get yourself more energized for your work day and get going. We'll be on tomorrow for some Madden 97, continuing our Madden retrospective, and also Link's Awakening this time.
You have to finish Wario first.
Wario first. We'll finish Wario first, and then Link's Awakening.
We should make this a more regular Wednesday.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Maybe not
cool.
Weekly, bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
I could probably do that.
Chat up some random shit. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Right, guys, well, we are Sleepy Bear Games. we are going to see you all tomorrow. So y'all have a good day, and peace be with you, and God bless.
See you
And
guys.
also with you.